Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wait until about 7:45 to start the program because of the horrendous traffic. So enjoy your fellowship time with one another, and I will return in a few minutes. And enjoy the jazz. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's great to see you tonight, despite the horrendous traffic, and we're just going to go ahead and crank it up. We're very glad that you're here with us tonight. We're very glad that the Jazz at 781 group could come and play for us tonight. Hooray! Y'all are in for a treat with all of the musical guests that we have, and we're very glad that you're here with us this evening. For those of you who are not familiar with the building, restrooms are down the hall. And we also have many other activities going on during the weekend, which we'll be glad to tell you about at the end of the evening. The Lord be with you. Let us worship God with joy and with music and with a wonderful message, and we're very glad that all of you are here with us today. We will be taking up an offering in the middle of the program to defray the costs of our Pride participation this year, so feel free to donate to that when the basket comes around to you. So, I yield the floor to Courtney and her beautiful voice.
She says I smell like safety and home, and I licked both of her eyes forever, and please don't go. I could be a morning sunrise all the time, yeah. This could be good, this could be good, and I can't change. Can I call you baby? Yeah, yeah. She says that people stare 'cause we look so good together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I can't change even if I tried, even if I wanted to. Crying on Sundays, I'm not crying.
Now that is how I like to start Pride. Amen. Thank you, Courtney. Always a blessing when you come and be among us and offer your gift of blessing. And of course, we love our folks from Jazz at 781, Emmanuel and Taryn. And we are blessed to have Colleen with us offering some music later this evening. So welcome to St. Mark Pride 2015. It is good to be with you all this evening, and it is my joy and honor to introduce our speaker for this evening. Rabbi Joshua Lesser is one of my closest friends in the whole world. He is a mentor, friend, role model, and stands for a lot that we can really be proud of, that we get to share this space tonight with him, and that we share this city with him and all the work that he's put in here. He is the rabbi at Congregation Bet Havarim, which is in the Reconstructionist community and was founded by gay and lesbian folks, and he's been there as a rabbi since 1999. Before that, he was the resident rabbi at Emory University, which is where I met him when I was a student at Candler School of Theology. A number of years ago, he served in Teach for America at New Orleans. He is the editor of Torah Queries, which is a commentary on the weekly Torah readings from an LGBT perspective, and he was the senior editor, or one of the editors for that volume. He is one of the founders of the Faith Alliance of Metro Atlanta, which is the interfaith organization in this city. He has been co-chair of the Georgians Against Discrimination, which was the organization that worked to fight against the constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage in Georgia a number of years ago. He led that coalition. And of course, we know that the United States Supreme Court overturned that ban just this past year. He's been on the board of Georgia Equality, the board of the Anti-Defamation League. He is founder of what used to be known as the Rainbow Center, which is now called Sojourn, which is Southern Jewish Resource Network for Gender and Sexual Diversity. He is a passionate person. He is all about building bridges, celebrating diversity, and finding common ground with seemingly different kinds of folks. There's always a core that we can connect with, and he is always the first one to find it and reach out. And so we are honored to have him this evening as our guest speaker, Rabbi Joshua Lesser.
Because of some very poor timing and scheduling, I actually will not be able to march this Sunday for the first time in a long time because I have a straight wedding to do. So I thought I would bring a prop. I don't get to bring props often, and do a little marching right now. Truth is, it's been in my car since May, and I figured at least there would be a reason. In my congregation, I actually speak from the floor, so this is more comfortable for me, so I hope that this is okay. Everybody can see me and hear me. Awesome. Oh, awesome. So I want to say, I want to talk about something that may sound controversial at first, which is, when thinking about tonight, I wanted to talk about the idea of balancing gay humility with gay pride. And but before I talk about humility, which I think from the Jewish perspective has a slightly different meaning that I want to share with you, I want to invite you for a moment to think about your first experience at Pride. For me, one of the ways that I try to begin my Pride is to locate myself in that first experience. So seriously, just take a moment, see if you can recall what that experience felt like, what it was like for you. When I think about myself, I was 19 years old at Northwestern University. I was a junior, and I had made the stupidest decision of my life, which was that I had joined the football fraternity at Northwestern. Stupid for two reasons. They lost every game, so it wasn't like that was the great fraternity. But I, at that point in my life, had decided through an accident of accompanying a friend through Rush. I was definitely not a fraternity person, but I was given a bid that first night I was there. They asked me to come back, and I said I couldn't come back. They gave me a bid, and I talked to my parents. My parents said absolutely not. So that was actually one yes in favor. But then, as twisted as my thinking was when I was 19, I had this idea that if I could get through the experience of joining the most testosterone-laden fraternity on my campus and not be discovered as a gay man, that I could get through the rest of my life without anybody knowing. That's where I was at 19. So when we had gay events, I would sneak, if I even had the courage to go, making sure that nobody saw me in the dead of night to a meeting. And luckily, even with as much shame as I had about myself, I was able to still make some friends. And so a friend of mine, my junior year, asked me to accompany him to Pride. And I said, I'll go with you, but I'm not going to march. I will just take it in from the sidelines. That was about as much as I could do. So what I discovered, though, is that my fraternity had scheduled a Sunday at the Wrigley Field for a Cubs game, which is Boys Town in Chicago, which is where the Pride Parade happens. So we got on the L, we got on our train, and I'm like, please, let there be no fraternity. Like, I was terrified that my fraternity brothers would see me on the train, all leaving from Evanston into Chicago. We got off the Wrigley Field stop. I'm trying to, slink, with thousands of people around me. I was terrified that if they saw me. And I lived with 6 football players that year. And I will tell you that if they had known, I would have ended up in the ER. I have no doubt that it would not have ended well. And so my friend Michael and I walked through the crowds, and we found the small Northwestern group of people who were marching. And we were talking to them, saying hello, and all of a sudden, they started walking. And my friend turned to me, and he's like, Josh, I'm going to march with them. So I guess either join us or we'll find each other somehow. And this is before cell phones, right? And so I panicked. But in the forward motion, I found myself walking. And totally unintended, I found myself marching in my first gay pride parade at 19. I was exhilarated and I was terrified. And then I saw this woman, and it's much more common today than it was back when I was at Pride. But there was a woman standing by herself, holding out a sign saying, I love my lesbian daughter. And I ran out from the group into the crowd and just hugged this woman. And seeing that sign, at that time, I was pretty certain that my parents wouldn't have accepted me either. I was closeted to them. But to have a mother there, to be able to embrace me, as I've written about this, I talked about it was like the 7th day of creation when God rested and said that everything was good. There was that moment where it was so perfect. She gave me a big hug. 2 strangers really connected over our sense of humanity, of who we were. That was a moment of pride that I needed in order to get through my life and to begin to undo the self-inflicted damage that I had taken on from the societal messages that had been put on me. It was the first step of my becoming myself again. The excited kid that embraced people, that was fearless, was reemerging in a way that I had not expected. At that point, I was reserved. I had become so good at the idea of hypervigilance and knowing and being able to read a crowd and knowing how much I could actually be myself. And this was really the beginning steps of meeting myself in a way that I had not known. And so when I think about the purpose of Pride, I think about those moments for people. of how incredibly important it is for us to create spaces and containers for people to live their lives with a full sense of self-expression. That's when I was 19. Now it is, years later. I'll let you fill in the blank. And I've been to a number of prides. And while I think about that moment, pride doesn't serve that same purpose. In fact, as someone who has to work pride, and it falls now right after the Jewish holidays, I'm like, really? Do I have the energy? Do I have the ability? And I see the exuberance of our community. And I'm someone who definitely feels like, yes, let's show all of our colors, all of who we are. So my sense of what I feel is called for, though, is a sense of humility, even in our exuberance. In the Jewish context, the word humility, anava, and if we get a little biblical, which I don't often get out of my synagogue, but I can do that with you, Moses in our tradition, in the Torah, in the Hebrew Bible, or the Old Testament, is referred to as the most humble human being on the earth. And, Moses played a big role. It isn't that he was a shrinking violet by any stretch. It took him a little while, like I would say gay folks, to find himself, to be able to find his voice. But it was even after he found his voice that he was called humble. And for me, our understanding of humble is knowing our space. We say that humility is taking up your right amount of space. When I was 19 at Pride, I needed to take a huge amount of space. I needed that in order to find myself again. All these years later, I find myself delighting in the possibility of what service can look like. That I don't need that sense of reconnecting with myself. I've grown pretty comfortable. I have a nice life. I feel fearless in the way of confronting the bigots that exist on all different levels. I pleasure in speaking with people who are good yet ignorant about gay and lesbian folks and encounter the humanity that they have. I have a pretty centered sense of myself. And I imagine that many of you have that same kind of sensibility. In some ways, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because St. Mark's really has exemplified this sense of what service in the midst of pride looks like. There's a generosity that you bring. There's a way that you do help create this container for people to show up. And when I think about why pride is still needed, there are folks like us that have to create a sense of space for other aspects of our community who have not had the same kind of privilege that we have had, that we can hold a space for. As we move into greater sense of trans awareness in this country, there's also greater violence and greater panic. There is a way that knowing our place now enables us to hold that space. When I think about the Black Lives Matter movement and how that affects the LGBT community, there is a way that I believe we have not only the privilege, but from a place of humility, the responsibility of holding a greater sense of space for people to be able to connect and understand the beauty of who they are in a city and in a state that gives messages that their lives do not matter every single day. And so, for me, pride, which is this incredible thing, has been this strong platform. But when I look at my Catholic brothers and sisters and understand that pride is a cardinal sin in Catholic tradition, for me, everything in Judaism is about balance. That we have the opportunity not to shun pride, but to balance it with that sense of creating space for others. and creating space for others, I believe, in this time, in our LGBTQ community. And that doesn't mean that we step back. It means that we actually create a sense of, I guess we have an Amber Alert. No, that's fine. That we create a sense of holding and respecting another's difference within our own community. I believe as people of faith, it's the perfect place for us to take the lead in that we can partner together. That, for me, there's this beauty in not necessarily having people hold our exact same beliefs. If they find a welcome place in this space or my congregation, that's great. But to have our message, quote unquote, our sense of evangelizing be one of be true to yourself, love yourself. We are here to help you connect with what you need for you. For me, there's nothing more powerful than balancing that sense of pride with humility. So thank you.
Certainly want to thank Rabbi Lesser for those words, and we're excited to welcome Colleen back to sing one of our favorites this evening.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. To see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other in the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make the change. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, yeah. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there are some with no home, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the patterns on the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that Change up, starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make the change. Gotta get it right while you got the time. Cause if you close your heart, then you close your mind. That man, 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 that man. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Na 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 na. Oh yeah. Na 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 na. I'm gonna make a change. It's gonna feel real good. Come on. Just lift yourself. You know, you got to stop it yourself, brother. Make that change. Make that change.
I love Colleen. Amen. I want to thank you all for bringing your music this evening. And at this time, we have a lot to be grateful for. It is Pride. I've gotten in trouble from saying this from the pulpit, but I'll say it again. It is Gay Christmas here at St. Mark. And I'm not apologizing this year. But we have a lot to be grateful for. We have a lot of space around us that we can be in and be ourselves and call forth that same sense of authenticity in others. So out of that space of gratitude, I ask you to ask the ushers to come forward this time, and we'll take up an offering, and then we'll move forward in our service.
Your branches speak to me of love. Pale moon is casting shadows from above. Poinciana, somehow I feel the jungle heat within me. There grows a rhythmic wild beat. Love is everywhere, its magic perfume fills the air. To and fro you sway, my heart's entwined, I've learned to care. Poinciana, those skies may turn from blue to gray. Our love will live forever and a day. Poinciana, your branches speak to me of love. Pale moon is casting shadows from above. Poinciana, somehow I feel the jungle heat. Within me there grows a wild beat. Love is everywhere, its magic perfume fills the air. To and fro you sway, my heart's entwined, I've learned to care. Poinciana, those skies may turn from blue to gray. Our love will live forever and a day. Our love will live forever and a day. Our love will live forever and a day.
As I said before, we have a lot to be grateful for here at St. Mark and in this city of Atlanta, and it is exciting times that we live in. There's so much changing. Almost every week we see some new breakthrough, rights being awarded to some folks, but we have a long way to go. And tonight it is my high honor and joy to present to you all the recipient of the St. Mark Diversity Award. This person means a lot to me personally. First met him at the Candler School of Theology way back in 2000 something, and been close friends ever since. But one of the examples of that sense of connection and that sense of outreach that this person has is, many of you know that about 4 years ago in Piedmont Park, I was jumped in a pretty horrific hate crime, and Rabbi Josh Lesser helped organize with St. Mark a picnic in Piedmont Park, bringing together his congregation, Bet Haverim, our congregation, as well as the entire Midtown community, in a place of healing, in a place of restoration, in a place of growth, to transform that tragic situation into something brand new that was very healing for me and very healing for the community. And for that reason, and for a number of other reasons, all of which you heard about tonight in his experience with his first pride and trying to find that sense of space around him to find his voice. And once he found that voice, he has created space around him ever since for others to find their voice, their unique sense of place and purpose in this world. And so it is my joy tonight to present the 2015 St. Mark Diversity Award to Rabbi Josh Lesser.
So the good news is that I don't have to say much because I said it already. This is very unexpected. And I feel very moved to be connected with this community because everything that this community stands for. When I came to Atlanta to serve as the rabbi, I was 29 years old. And it was really, this was back in 1999. And it was this community that stood out more than any other of being a place of welcoming for LGBT folks. And to see it continue on its path has been very powerful. I appreciate the leadership of this congregation throughout all of its changes, really, in a time where it hasn't always been easy for a Methodist church to be as embracing and as welcoming and reconciling as this community has chosen as its path. And so I feel really grateful to have my name connected with you. So thank you for the work that you do, and I am very touched to have that alliance, and I hope to continue to build our connections together. So thank you.
Courtney, come on up.
And of course, all our love to Rabbi Josh and for all that he does to us and for us, and we give him great thanks. I just wanted to let you know before we depart this evening that there are many things going on this coming weekend here at St. Mark and elsewhere around the city. We will be doing some decorating. You see, we like to change out the fabulousness between now and Sunday. And so there will be some decorating going on here tomorrow and on Saturday as well, so that we get the whole place ready for Sunday. On Sunday, we'll have a barbecue on the lawn after the second service. Services are as usual at 9 and at 11:15. And we will also have a water station out front that you can help with. We have a booth in the park on Saturday. When will we be decorating the float? Tomorrow? Tomorrow? Saturday, there will be float decoration going on, so there's all kinds of ways for you to come back and have fun with your friends here at St. Mark as we prepare to go to the park on Sunday at the end of the parade. So I invite you to stand. Go forth into the world and spread the love of God. Share with your brothers and sisters the acknowledgement that we are all made in God's image and we are all God's beloved children. Go in peace.
It's very clear our love is here to stay, not for a year, but forever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know, they're only passing fancies that in time may go. But oh, my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here to stay. It's very clear. Our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know, they're only passing fancies that in time may go. But oh, my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here. Our love is here. Our love is here to stay. Thank you.